Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Really great presentation so far, so the expectations are, I guess, pretty high for me now. Just a very quick introduction about myself, because I'm actually going to talk about this guy. I'm Christian. I'm here today as kind of a representative of a plugin called Your Marketing Guide. And I want to explain a bit why we're doing what we're doing. But I'm coming to that really totally at the end to just see a quick screenshot of what our plugin is really doing. But now I really want to present Johan to you. I think many of you know Johan. I've also got to know a few Johans in here already. Johan is in his 50s. He runs a small business. He was not born with an iPad, and he didn't grow up playing apps that are teaching him how to develop. And he was never really in that internet thing. So we maybe wouldn't call him a digital native. He really knows absolutely nothing about the internet. But he understands, in the meanwhile, that in order to get his small business running and to keep him away from new offline and online competition, he also needs to get online. He needs to have a good website. So he has some hard times right now, even though he was before on a beautiful vacation with his snowshoes. But he just needs to, if he would just have a good website, then he believes everything would be so much easier for him. But he knows, hey, there's WordPress, He can do a little bit of Googling, so he finds out it's a cool tool, and maybe some of his friends have talked about it, that it's such an easy platform for everyone to just get your own website running, either self-hosted or even hosted by WordPress. So, honestly, how difficult can it be to get a good website up and running, right? Well, it takes him maybe just a few hours or a couple of days, depending on how much time he has. And maybe Johan's website looks like that. A start page where there's immediately an error saying there are no results found because the search plugin was maybe somehow misused. Even though everything kind of looks nice, the rest. He has a good navigation bar. He even apparently seems to plan to have a blog post with some recent comments and archives and categories. We heard before from Guy how important it is to have categories, but he doesn't have any. So it's just like he's done. He's maybe stuck at this point, or maybe his website looks like that. And you were talking just right now about newsletters, so it's great that we're here. He heard maybe that this is an amazing strategy. I need to put up a newsletter. But well, when we look at it, if this would be his start page, saying nothing found, it seems there is an error somewhere, and then immediately he uses a plugin because he heard somebody somewhere he should really use newsletters, puts this up. Well, how many people are actually not going to press this X, but the X up here in the browser to leave his website right away again? Or maybe his page looks like that. He has a form from the 90s for people to fill out to contact him. His Facebook page here, a Google translator to actually translate his page into other languages with Google Translate. Well, we all know it's nice if you just want to understand the context, but Google Translate is not really the place to really properly translate a website. Then some advertising about some weird mobile apps or games, even though we have some common brands here. It kind of looks a little bit creepy. And then even a survey on how satisfied are you with our website. So most probably he will be like in the position where he's like, I don't feel that anything comes back to me from all the effort I've put into the website, because who is honestly going to use these kind of examples of websites? Either way, he knows he has to continue because it's so important. And he also heard from other people, or maybe found some common articles that are saying, I need to do SEO, because if I don't do SEO, nobody will ever find me in Google. So he knows already that there are plugins and that WordPress is really strong with the plugins. So he goes into hopefully a good plugin, maybe like this one, yeah? But he is new to all of this. So it's like rewriting titles. I don't know if I should do that or not. And capitalizing, is this important, or should I put the check mark here or not? And why the hell are we talking about percentages and with underscores? And what is even this kind of a character? What does all of this mean? And if we're just looking here on the right side, we see the scroll bar is kind of far away from the bottom, right? So he has lots of things to do. But because it's important for him and he wants to get his business better and he wants to keep the competition out, he goes through it, he makes everything to his best knowledge. Next step, page speed. Beautiful presentation before. So I hope in future PHP 7 will really solve all these issues. And Johan doesn't have to go into this for him Chinese platform, because what the hell is minify? And what is a page cache, database cache, object cache, browser cache? What are user agent groups? And what am I supposed to do with them? What are refer groups? And what does actually CDN stand for? He has never heard of this in his entire life before. But somebody told him, and everywhere it's written, you need to use a plugin, one of these amazing plugins with good ratings and lots of users, to get your page fast. Now today we've actually learned from Stanislav that this will not help him anyway. But he's still gonna do it because he believes he needs to do it in order to have a fast website. So again, most probably he's gonna do it. But let's take a step back and kind of make a reality check at this point. What we've seen so far is that, and also we've seen in our plugin, that automatically published test pages and posts remain. So visitors to websites are going to read stuff like lorem ipsum, this is a test page, or this is how a post with a featured image looks like. We've seen this, we really see these examples, and lots of them. Then there's a huge room for improvements on readability of pages and posts. Guy talked a little about it. There's like so much content out right now. So you really need to know how to play the game in order to succeed. But we've just seen 3 examples, and I didn't just take them from a Google search. I can say that these are examples that I've seen people who are interested in our plugin. So this is still happening today. This is not 1990 examples. Even big websites, like the first one we've seen, there was even an online shop on that website. But they are obviously in the need for help because they make these obvious mistakes. And they will have a hard time succeeding and making their website or turning their website into something profitable for them. And then a little other fancy statistic here maybe is that WordPress, people that are new to WordPress with their websites just recently published, they don't even come back to WordPress every day and make changes and optimize. If we're lucky, they come back every 3rd day. But they should come every day to change their website and to optimize it, because it's a game where you really, really need to be active. So we need to change that, make it easier for them. So if we have another look at Johan's reality, he is right now at the state where he says, well, this is taking so much time, it looks obviously horrible, and my bank account remains empty. But then it's like, yeah, this is it. I'm just going to Google like a pro, like all of we would do. Well, let's face it, if you Google how to make my website better, you're not only going to see a billion results to choose from, but even when you go on one of the pages on the first page, you will see something like that. Don't do this. This is how your website should be. Okay, fair enough. Let's go a little further. Successful webmasters think like that. What do my users want? What Guy said. I think everyone can maybe answer that question, even if you're new to the internet thing, right? Then, how can I make something better? Gets a little difficult to answer. We've seen not even everyone has goals of what they want to do, so it usually should be a conversation you have with a specialist. But Johan needs to have this conversation with himself. Then I will work on my website until I know for a fact that my website is better than others in my field. Well, honestly, how do you know that your website is better if you have not even a clue that Google Analytics exists, or how to look at data properly to identify if a bounce rate of 90% is something positive or something negative? How do you know that you are building a good website if you're missing all that background knowledge that most of us have? Or I will look at some of my other web pages today and make a list of things I can do better. Well, Johan that hasn't made a website before. So this website is maybe going to help him up to those 2 points. Then he gets stuck and he still doesn't know how to implement it. and how to get from this, whatever it represents, to this. So, back to Johan's reality, it's like, fine, Google doesn't help me, but somebody must know all this stuff, and I can just ask them, I can just hire them. And how much can it cost, right? How much can it cost to call somebody to fix my website? Well, it could be something like that. At the end of 2015, an average internet consultant would cost you around £500 per hour. Fine for some of us, if you want to get expert knowledge in, not fine for Johan. Before he was saying that his bank account remains empty. So he doesn't get anywhere with this. Which basically means that, Johan is not alone with this. So it's not just a person I've made up. Again, Guy said it before. It's like, you gave me a lot of amazing points to follow up on. It's great. There are around 75 million websites depending on WordPress, which means I have here 19%, you said 22, so maybe it's 22. Yeah, 22% of all websites use WordPress, and it's most popular with business websites, not only bloggers. And out of these 75 million people, not everyone can be a developer, to be very realistic. A big amount of these people must be people like Johan, who have absolutely no idea of how to set up good SEO, of how to make a page speed better, and how to actually understand if the website works or not. Not only by looking at the bank account, if there's some money coming in or not. So, Johan is in kind of a really bad cycle for himself, because he knows he needs a good website. And it's like, okay, let's try WordPress. Seems fairly easy, everyone is using it. And after all, how hard can it really be if 75 million people are anyway having a WordPress website? Then it kind of comes to the state, and well, maybe I should Google how to really do it. Or I would better get a consultant, because Google doesn't really give me the results I'm looking for. Well, at the end, most probably he's just in the mood of saying, screw this. But he still needs a good website, right? So kind of a really, really bad dilemma he's in. And we should really be able to break this cycle and build plugins that are for people like Johan, that give him a hand, not where he has to go through all kinds of settings that he doesn't even understand what a cache or what CDN or whatever is, or give him a hand of why not to show a pop-up of a newsletter when you haven't even delivered value to somebody, or how to ensure that he has a call to action, how to ensure that he has a way to understand Google Analytics data. So not setting it up for him and then making him understand what he needs to do better. And not only have plugins that are from developers for developers, but really creating a movement of getting more of these 40,000 plugins at another 10,000, but only make them truly for people like Johan, so they can be successful in all the things that we know. And well, one of the examples is the Your Marketing Guy plugin. What we are doing is we're giving you a personalized tip every day. And it's not a generic tip. This is why we call it personalized. We're really looking at your website, analyzing what we believe, according to our expert knowledge, what you should do better. We prioritize it based on what is the business value for you. Yeah? We're not telling you maybe you improve your footer. We do that when everything else is perfect. And this way, we hope and we believe that we can actually help people like Johan, still doing it themselves, but giving them exactly the kind of hand that they need in order to be successful themselves and not spend 5 hours of Googling and buying books that are very generic and maybe even hiring somebody for £500 an hour. So if any one of you wants to be part of this, really please talk to me, or create your own plugin when you have an idea, maybe on how to easily implement PHP 7, or on your end on how to really write amazing content. I really wish we can create a little movement and give Johans, all these Johans out there, a good hand in getting a good website out. So if you want to talk to me, meet me where the food is. Thank you. Are there any questions? Any questions?
How many unique tips would you say that you can provide?
The database of tips can basically be infinitive. So what we really have. Reality is that there are already some, let's say, advanced websites using our plugin that are sometimes running out of tips. Meaning, we really have to do a better job also on our end to provide more and more and more tips. But on the websites we've seen before, I mean, it kind of never ends with the amount of tips as long as they don't also change their content. And there, maybe just one more sentence to the answer, there are a lot of fields we can give tips in. We're not all in all these fields present yet, but you know, it starts with maybe content writing. So I'm going to talk to Guy actually to give me all his expert tips so I can implement them in my product.
Jag är jättehungrig.
We talk where the food is. And then you can move on to like how to do proper SEO, you know, really step by step, and then page speed, and then, you know, other really nice expert fields. Maybe you can jump into social media marketing and connect things to Facebook. So there's a lot of potential of what to do. Yeah?
Can you clarify, is this a plugin you're making free, or is this like a business you run, or I don't really get this? I mean,
so you can actually get it in the WordPress store. It's for free. There's no paid version of it yet. We have some in plan for a version 2.0, but we really believe that we should provide our knowledge for free to everyone else. And somebody said it before. I think it was again you, Guy. You were saying first you give something and then you get something in return. And that's also a little bit our belief. First of all, we want to give the free access to what we know and how we would maybe analyze your page if we would be talking to you one by one. Yeah?
How do you decide what tips to give different site owners or businesses?
So the idea is basically that we try to analyze the state of your website, your business. Where are you? At what level? Are you really on the entry level? And we start helping you with how to actually get structure in your website, making nice content, how it should look good. But if all of this is already well done, then we can jump into some SEO tips, for example. So it's a little bit, you know, trying to see what status is the website at, and then deciding what's important for that person. Yeah. Good. Then thank you. Just need my beer back.